Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I feel like my mic is good. My mic sounds good. What is this little thing on my mic that's like white? Okay, we got it. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. If this is your first time, welcome in. I am your host for Seasons. Welcome into the new people. Welcome back to the Four Seasons of Community. I love you guys for being here. Shout out to Leo Wichi in the chat. Thank you for being in. How are we feeling right now? What is on our minds? How are we feeling? What's going on? Um, for me, I'm feeling pretty good. So I think I told y'all either on the co-working stream that was this Saturday, plugging that because co-working stream Saturdays. But maybe even just last week, I told y'all, but yeah, I'm dealing with this ingrown toenail and the pain that I have been in, but it's about to be alleviated very, very soon. Very, very soon. Um, and so I have, because of this pain that I've been going through, and it's been about 2 weeks now. Um, I have learned a newfound appreciation of myself and of God, through the pain that I'm having, through all this strife. Um, I'm thankful that I'm able to go through it because I have a toe, I have a foot that's still alive and well, and I just got something temporary that's going on with it, right? I'm learning to be grateful during the suffering, and I think that's something that is taught in the Bible is that sometimes we have to look at everything we have and be appreciative of the little things. So, my toenail being as painful as it is, I'm just thankful that I still have a foot that's functioning. I'm able to walk without issue now. Sometimes when I tell y'all, I think it was yesterday, brushed my foot up against one of my slides, trying to knock it out the way. Y'all, that the pain that I felt, my goodness, my goodness. But during the pain, I tried to be thankful because I could not have a toe, right? Um, and I think God kind of doubled down on that for me because where I'm at, we had a lot of snow over this week. And so I had to dig my car out. And so I went out. Thankfully, one of my neighbors was so kind enough to allow me to use their shovel. So I went out, used their shovel to clean around my car. And I was like, okay. And when I tell y'all, so for this past week, well, the past month, I've been fasting. So not a lot of food this past week because it was this last week was straight liquids. So I didn't even think about that. So I was like, let me go out and shovel my car, get my car and shovel. And so I did it. I was proud of myself. And when I came back, I literally passed out in my bed. Like I was exhausted. I had no energy. I was like, oh, I didn't even eat today. And I did all this cardio work. But I was like, okay, I got my car out the way. I got it shoveled out. Fast forward to the next day, my back is on 10. I'm like, what happened? Why is my back feeling like this? And so I'm like, okay, I probably, I've been working out like that, especially in this area. I did a lot of shoveling. It's snow and you pull it, it's snow and it was a lot of that. And so I was like, okay, this is painful. My toe is painful. But I'm thankful that I have these things that still work and it's just a temporary pain. And so that's something I try to put in my mind whenever the pain is so apparent. I'm like, ooh, this hurts like crazy. But I'm thankful that I still am able to feel these things, right? Um, so that's what's been on my mind. That's what's going through my mind at the moment. I'm just pushing through those things, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling. Leo, she says, doing good. I'm alive and well. Okay. What's up, Sandra Waves? First time chatting. Loving this gratitude. There's a lesson and a blessing. So we have to always be grateful for even the ugly parts of the journey. Say that. Say that. Shout out to Sandra Waves. She has an amazing co-working stream that I tune into. And it's so ironic that your stream uh happens when my stream ends. So I love giving you a lovely raid when I finish my stuff so the rest of the community can go over and continue to be productive. So shout out to Sandra Waves. Thank you for coming in. I hope you enjoy the podcast. This is just what we're here to do. We're just here to talk about things. Um so yeah, that's where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling. That's where my mind's at. Like I said earlier, I'm getting this ingrown toenail taken care of tomorrow, y'all. It's it's gonna be done. So yeah, that's where we're at. So another part of our check-in that we do at the beginning of the podcast is one of my favorite things called the line dynamic. So let me go ahead and pull it up for you. One second, y'all. Okay, there we go. So, this lovely line dynamic, y'all. One of my favorite things here on this podcast, honestly. So what the line dynamic is, it's a way for us to decipher or figure out where it is that we're at right now mentally, right? And so as we see going from top to bottom, the line, when we're above it, that means we're happy, we're ecstatic, we're great, we're in a great mindset. And that's where I feel like all of us want to be. We want to be above the line, we want to be really great, right? And sometimes when we're so far above the line, we have the ability to give that energy to people who may not be where we're at above the line, right? We may be able to give that energy to people who are just sitting on the line, or even those who are below and may just need a little umph to get a little higher to where they want to be, right? And so when I'm above the line, I feel like I'm performing on all cylinders. Everything is on go, right? And I tend to be very thankful and appreciative of me being above the line because nowadays, y'all, especially, if you live in the States or even wherever you are, people life be life and things be happening and things happen in our life that tend to try to push us down, to make us not feel happy, to make us, be below the line, right? And so whenever I am above the line, I try to hold on to that as much as I can, right? And so our second level is on the line. And as you guys can see by the emojis, it's just straight face. It's okay. And I'm learning more and more just being okay is sometimes all you can do. And that's okay. Sometimes we just need to survive. We just need to be present. And that may be the only energy we have to give at that time. Similar to me being above the line, when I am on the line, I'm appreciative of it because it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. And I try to at least maintain or do things that I know are going to push me up closer to being above the line. And if those things don't work, I'm okay with being okay, right? And so, last but definitely not least, is when we are below the line. And as the emojis show, that's not really a good feeling, right? Being below the line just means things aren't good. Things are not in a good, you're not in a good headspace. Things around you are not working out in your favor. There's a lot of strife, a lot of tension, a lot of stress going on, right? And when we're below the line, um, sometimes for ourselves, it's hard to see where the line is at, or even how to even see the horizon of being above the line, right? Sometimes when you're below the line, you're just sitting in your stuff. And for me, what I tend to do when I'm below the line, first and foremost, I if it's something that I know that is going to negatively affect the people around me, the people close to me, I just sit in it and isolate for myself. I'm learning to sit in my emotions, to acknowledge them, to give them space to dwell without being toxic to those around me that I care about, right? And so being in that space when I'm ready, I tend to reach out to my support system, right? And for me, my support system looks like, which it could be different for you, My support system looks like my friends, my family, professional help, so like therapists, therapy, as well as spiritual help. So God, that's who I follow, my church family, and my church leaders, right? And so when I'm below the line, I tend to grab at all of those things at once because I know at least one of those things is going to push me higher up towards the line than where I'm at currently, right? And if it all works out in my favor, all of those things are going to push me way past the line going straight above, right? But I tend to give myself that special time for me to just figure out what it is. What's causing my mind to be so down? Why am I so below? And I take that time for myself, and then I reach out to my support system so I can really get that feeling of love, of appreciation to push me closer to that line, right? So, with that being said, where are we at on the line tonight? I'm going to give you guys a few moments to think about that, to jot that down, and we can continue on. All right, be right back, y'all. I got to move this stuff. See, I was not prepared, but we got it. We got it. All right, y'all, we are back. So where are we at on the line? For me, I'll start with myself. I'm very much above the line, even though I'm having these ailments that I'm telling you guys about. I'm very much above the line. I feel good. Another thing that is making me, I'm like really above the line today. If you guys have been following me, I have been doing a 21-day fast with my church since the 7th of January. And so we ended it yesterday. And I feel rejuvenated. It was a difficult fast. The main part of the fast was to fast from meat, bread, and sweets, as well as technology fast. So any technology only had to be used for schoolwork, ministry. And then after 7, we could, I guess continue on with worldly things, right? And so on top of that, we have had 6 a.m. prayer calls and 6 p.m. prayer calls every day for the fast. And I wasn't sure if I was I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to complete the fast and make it to the finish line. But y'all, I did it, and I'm so happy and I'm so proud of myself. I've learned so much about myself. I learned so much about God. I've consecrated a lot with my church and fellowship with them, and I'm leaning more into them, right? And so I believe coming off of this fast has changed my mindset on a lot of things, has allowed me to recognize the things that have been controlling my life that I didn't think were controlling my life, but have been. And abstaining from them during the fast and continuing on to do that after the fast for some things. Um, Aside from what the church was fasting from, I added a few things myself. Specifically cursing. I used to curse like a sailor, y'all. If y'all were here before, I started the fast. Y'all know cussing was just something I would sprinkle into my vocabulary. And I have fasted from that. I'm doing my very best, and even people in my personal circle or immediate life have noticed the change in my dialect, how I talk. I do not use curse words, and if I do, sometimes they slip in. I'm quick to counteract it with something, or at least acknowledge the hey, I'm not supposed to be saying that, right? And it's been really, really cool. I've noticed that when I talk I talk more slowly now sometimes, just to be a little more wary of the words that I'm saying, what's being put out, and all that stuff, to make sure that I'm saying what I need to say or what I want to say. So that's one thing I have added to my fast that I think, well, I don't think, I know I'm going to carry on after the fast since the fast is over. Another thing was smoking marijuana, y'all. That's something that I have been fasting from, and not gonna lie, I slipped a couple of times throughout this fast. But for someone who was a consistent smoker, a consistent person who partaked in the ganja, daily, I have cut back extremely, right? Um, and so that's something I'm going to continue on doing after the fast as well. And last but definitely not least was no porn or masturbation, right? That as a single man, that was difficult for me. But even though I slipped a few times, couple times, um, that is just something again that I am walking into this next journey in my life not really needing, right? These things that I was using or doing as coping mechanisms for things during survival, times that I needed in survival, I would cope with these things. I don't need to use those things anymore. I'm leaning into God, I'm leaning into scripture, I'm leaning into my church family, I'm leaning into my friends, I'm leaning into my family. And that's enough for me. Being transparent and being open with these people has allowed me to push through some mental roadblocks I've had for myself, right? And I'm just so thankful um that this is where I'm at now. So that's where I'm at above the line. All that has contributed to that. So let's get into the chat. Where are y'all at? Um Leo Witchy says, I'm above the line. I love it. I love it. Love CPS NJ says above the line. Okay, okay. Sandra Wave says above the line. Had a few moments where I camped out on the line. I used that time to check in and ground myself. Say that. Say that. That's what we got to do. We have to acknowledge where we're at in the moment so we don't let it mess up the rest of our day or anybody around us, right? So I love that you're doing that, Sandra. Wise Dream, what's up, Lurker? Thanks for lurking, bro. I hope you have a great day. What's up, Sarte Money? Haven't seen you in a minute. Happy to hear that you're above the line, my brother. That's really, really great. So we got that out of the line dynamic, right? So let us move into the content of today. So exclamation mark word of the week. The word of the week is reflection. And this is what we're going to do at the end of every month, the last week of every month this year, for this season of the podcast, season 3. We're going to use the last week of the month to reflect on how the month went. So, with that being said, what are you guys' first thoughts when you see or hear the word reflection? I'm going to give you guys a few moments to jot down your thoughts, put them in the chat, and we can continue on from there. Let's go, y'all. All right, we are back. First thoughts. We see or hear the word reflection. For me, I think of songs. I think the first song I think of is that song from Mulan, the Christina Aguilera song Reflection. I think of that. I think of Michael Jackson's song Man in the Mirror. That's one of the songs that comes to mind. Fifth Harmony had a song called Reflection. I think of truth because when you look in the mirror and it's just you, you see the truth. You see you and all your good, bad, whatever. Um, that's something I'm starting to do in the mornings is just sit in my reflection and be like, "Hey, little nigga, I'm proud of you." That's something I'm learning to do. Um, what else do I think of? I think of metal, the metallic and how you can see a reflection in something like that. Shiny, that's what I think of. So yeah, those are the first things that come to mind for me when I see or think of the word reflection. Sandra Wave says, I'm always in reflection mode, so my first thoughts are opportunity and grace. Come on. Come on. That's something I'm learning to give myself more is grace. Because it's only one us. We're not perfect. So we gonna figure it out, right? Leo Wichi says, ponder, reminisce, look back, think, and learn. I love all of these, y'all. We're on the right page for what we're going to talk about today, so I love that. Let us move into what the definition is. Sandra Wave says it's hard. I do the mirror convo a lot. It's a deep session. It is. It is. What's up, Mystic? You know I love you too, buddy. I hope you're having a great day. I really do. I really do. All right. So, courtesy of Webster and them niggas, definition of reflection is to give back or exhibit something or someone as an image, likeness, or outline. To cause something or someone to be thought of in a in a specified way. So, with the definition out, it is time for us to get into the meat and potatoes of the topic tonight. So let me go ahead and swap over. Let's see. What was it? Is it this one? I think I did. Perfect. Yeah, I'm getting my stream deck set up perfectly, and so things are okay. Okay. So I'm centered. Perfect. So, y'all, today the word of the week is reflection. And what we're going to do is just reflect on how this month went for us, right? The theme of the month is the start of something new. So everything we talked about this month is in the same vein of that, right? And so the previous words of the week were new. The first word of the week of the month was new. We also had ready and start. And so everything we're going to talk about today is reflecting upon those things, right? So how we do this, we go through the 4 seasons of understanding. And so we start with season 1, which is mentally. So from where I started at the beginning of this month to now, where am I mentally? What's changed for me? What's done or happened for me, right? I would say for me, starting off, I'm more confident in myself, y'all. Um, I'm more sure of the vision God has given to me. And it took me consecrating, it took me sacrificing the flesh, it took me giving up a lot of things that I wanted to just partake in. I wanted to do, to, like I said earlier, to cope with, to deal with, to not face reality in some ways, right? And it's shown me that my mental fortitude is stronger than I thought it was before. Um, especially I'm not even gonna lie, especially when it comes to marijuana and porn consumption, y'all. I thought that maybe these things just gonna stick with me, you know. But I have more control over myself than I thought I had did. And God has interjected Himself into my life to show me that I have more control than I thought I did. So moving forward, I'm confident. I'm more sure of myself and the vision God has for me. I also notice I overthink less. I have always, up until recently, have been a big overthinker. And a lot of the things that I would be like Doctor Strange, if you guys are familiar with Doctor Strange from Marvel Universe. He can see different outcomes, thousands of different outcomes or realities at once, and he tries to make everything line up with what that outcome needs to be, that one outcome. I can't control everything that goes around, you know? And I've learned that giving my overactive thoughts, my overthinking to God has allowed me to just be at peace, y'all. I do not have anywhere near as much mental strife or stress as I used to, because it's like if I can't fix it or change it or do anything to change the outcome of the situation in this moment, what am I worrying about? It's gonna happen. You know, I'm just all I can control is how I react to the situation, how I react to things that pop up. And I'm learning that reacting in a positive manner more so in a negative manner is also the next step in doing that, right? Um so yeah, I'm just giving those stressful, confusing situations to God, and I'm more focused on doing. So as an overthinker, I would just get stuck in the overthinking stage. I would get stuck in over preparing something and not really implementing it or starting that task or whatever is in my mind, right? I would just try to make sure everything was perfect and lined up perfectly. Then I would do it. But that then would never come because I would be so focused in the preparation stage, right? Where I'm at now, I'm executing stuff, I'm implementing things. Now I'm still a planner and I plan well, but I don't get stuck in that cycle of over planning or being overly prepared. Um, yeah, I get to a point where I'm secure in my preparations and then I move forward. I'm not dwelling in the preparation stage as much as I did before. Um, yeah, so I would say that's where I'm at mentally in the season of being mental. Moving on to season two, which is physically being reflecting on the physical, right? So from the start of this month to now, um, I have lost a total of 22 pounds during my 21-day fast. So I'm very, very excited. I'm able to wear clothes that I haven't been able to wear before in quite some time. They not fitting too snug on me. I can breathe in my clothes. I feel good. Um, for me, weight loss and just being physically astute has been difficult for me for a large portion of my life. I've gone up and down, up and down, up and down. And throughout this fast, I've noticed that what keeps me on track is accountability for not just myself, but those around me, those who are participating in the same thing I'm doing, right? So my church family participating in this fast. We couldn't really eat, and so we had fruits and vegetables for the first 2 weeks, but that last week it was just straight liquids, y'all. And so being around people who were doing the same thing and moaning and groaning and be like, oh my goodness, we're still doing it, um, helped me, and I'm learning that helps me when it comes to being more physical. I'm excited of this next chapter because Love CPS says, yeah, congratulations. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I do. So the fast ended yesterday, y'all, and um, I'm not gonna lie. I had Wingstop. I got my regular order that I used to get, and when I tell y'all that stuff messed my stomach up, not having fried foods for a month and then you putting fried foods in your body, my body said, what is this mess? Get this blasphemy outside of me. How dare you? And that just solidified for me. I'm not going back. I can't. My body is just refusing for me to go back to those fried foods, the fatty stuff, the saucy stuff. My body's just like, nah, bruh. We ain't doing this. We can't do this. And so um I'm excited to go to the store tomorrow to get some stuff to start juicing again because that was something I did a lot during the fast was juicing. And I had some really, really great dope juices that I have. I have this juicer that does wonders. Um I've been steaming a lot of vegetables, doing smoothies, and so I'm just gonna implement maybe a little bit of meat, nothing fried, maybe some baked chicken, some turkey, some lean meat, some fish. I love fish, y'all. Not fried, but lean adding more of these lean meats into these things I was already doing on the fast just to add up a little more variety because we do need our protein, y'all. So, um that's been a big proponent for me. So yeah, my body like rejected fried foods. Sandra Way says instant detox. Instant detox. When I tell you, I was like, oh no. Oh no, I can't do this. And I'll tell you, it was good going in, but oh my goodness. My body said, get this out of here. I rebuke you. So that in itself has evoked a lifestyle change for me. I'm going to be continue to consume more fruits and vegetables, while also eating smaller portions. So like when I had my wings up, I had my plate set, y'all. I had a little something here, a little something here, a little something here. I was like, oh, I'm about to bash, y'all. I only ate like a few things. I was like, where did my appetite go? And so with the fast, I'm learning that my stomach internally has shrunk, right? And so the foods that in capacity that I would eat is not the same anymore. I eat less and I feel satisfied. So it's a lot of lifestyle changes in the physical season for me that have been happening, and I'm excited to see how it's going to continue moving forward, right? So, moving on to season 3 is the emotional season. And so, from the start of this month to now, I would say my emotions have been more in check as of late. Um, my interactions with some people, and I'm not, forgive me to some of the people I may have not been the most pleasant with during this fast, y'all. The headaches, the withdrawals were real towards the beginning. But I've noticed that my emotions, I tend to get them in check, y'all. I haven't had a lot of big emotional swings or reactions to certain things. I'm just letting things happen as they happen and just reacting in a positive manner, letting God lead my life with my actions, praying a lot to keep my emotions in check, to make sure that I'm in alignment with what I need to be. Um, I'm more inclined using the feelings wheel that we do on here, y'all. I'm gonna drop it in the chat for y'all because y'all know I don't gatekeep. But yeah, I'm more inclined to use the feelings wheel when I'm confused about how I'm feeling. When I'm not really sure exactly what that emotion I'm feeling is, I always use that to be pinpoint and concise on how I'm feeling. So there's no confusion, right? Um, that's really where I've been emotionally for the season from the beginning to now. And that wasn't really one of my biggest issues, but I'm still growing. I'm still learning and I'm still being consistent on making sure that my emotions are in check and I'm reacting in a way that doesn't negatively affect those around me or myself. So, with that being said, we're going to move into the fourth and final season, which is the season of spirituality. From the start of this month to now, um, as I've been saying, obviously, since the beginning of this episode, I have turned to Jesus for everything. I am more inclined to turn to the word whenever I'm confused about things or I'm stressed about something or I need some sort of clarity. I tend to turn into the word. I read the word. That's something I consistently do Saturdays during my podcast. I mean, during my co-working stream, because it gives me time to just be with, the word. Um, I'm letting God lead my steps in what I'm supposed to be doing. If I, like I said, if I have any questions or concerns about something, I'm like, God, is this where I'm supposed to be going? Is this how I'm supposed to be feeling? And if it's right, he leads me. If it's wrong, something happens and it deters me from going that direction. And I'm just thankful that I'm able to be in a space right now spiritually where I'm able to hear him. I'm able to recognize and discern what is of him and what is not. Um, my spirit, as and I think I said it last week on the podcast, getting ready for church throughout this consecration fast that I was doing for church every morning it felt like there were thousands of pounds on my body preventing me, wanting me to stay in a bed, wanting me to not move and go to church, y'all. And so I would be praying the entire time, getting out of bed, walking to the shower, taking a shower, still feeling all this weight, still feeling exhausted, still feeling downtrodden, right? And so I would just pray and like, God, I don't know what's over me, but I know I need to get to church. Something is trying to prevent me from going. Something is saying you can just stay in bed and watch it on the live stream, but that's not the same as being in the house, being around people physically who are praising God, who are celebrating God, who are uplifting. It's a whole different experience. And so even driving, I would still feel this thing. I remember one time this month, I was on my way to church and my stomach, the minute I pulled into the parking lot of the church, my stomach was like, hey, big dog, brum, bum, bum. I was like, oh my gosh. And so my church is about 15 minutes from where I live. So I was like, I'm not about to blow up the church bathroom on a Sunday morning. I'm about to do that. So let me go ahead and drive back home, take care of this little stomach problem, and then go back. And when I tell y'all, um, God had me that entire time because I was like, I'm not even going back home using the bathroom. I felt comfortable. I was like, I could just, no, got up, cleaned myself up, went back to church, and then ironically, I was sitting towards the first few pews. So I was able to get a big chunk of the word, a big feeling of uh being around people who celebrate God. It was just a great thing. So yeah, I have been pushed spiritually. I have been growing spiritually. I'm becoming more devoted to my church, and in doing so, I'm being recognized by my church. And to be honest, when I joined the church that I'm at, I always thought I was just going to be, I guess, a pew member. Is that what people call it? Where I just come, sit in the middle row, get my word, and go on. But God has pushed me to a point where I'm not just going to be a pew member. I am a part of the ministry. I'm a part of the family. And being someone who's an only child, I've always yearned for a feeling of being a part, of having a connection with a group of people, of having a family, right? And whenever I would try to orchestrate that myself, most times it would not go as planned. It would fall apart, things would happen. But where I'm at now, God is just, there's no reason for me not to dive in. God has shown so many different signs that this is where I'm supposed to be. These are around the people I'm supposed to be around. And they pour into me even when I don't want to be poured into, when I'm clamming up and going into my hermit shell, they are like, hey, we still love you. And that's just been an amazing feeling for me. So, yes, that is my reflection of this month of January, with the theme of the month being the start of something new. I have grown. God has stretched me. I have changed my mindset on a lot of things, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, y'all. And I hope, through my testimony, that you guys are able to feel that as well. That you guys are able to push through some troubling things, or things that may cause you strife or stress, and just see them as hurdles that we got to jump over. I know that me um, fasting from certain things, I've noticed that the people close to me, they've started fasting, or they started doing lifestyle changes too. And it's just great to see how, when you work on yourself and you pour into yourself, the fruits of your labor go towards those around you, and they start eating off of that, right? And I think we were talking about this last year in season 2, is that when you don't have enough in your cup, you can't really pour into people. And so you need to pour into yourself first, and then anything remaining will go to and fall off to those around you. And that remaining part is what's needed for them to grow to where they need to be. And that's what I'm learning. So shout outs to God for leading me. Shout outs to, my church family, my support system, and everybody who has pushed me to continue on with this fast, and who will see me to the end of that finish line. So I thank you all for that. So we are officially moving into our wrap up, our closeout of the stream. What we tend to do here, our first thing we do is know for sure. And that is something I know for sure from the beginning of this episode to now. And for me, I know for sure that even though my fasting is done, even though the consecration has finished, I'm not going to be done with working on myself. I'm not going to go back to the person that I was prior to this fast, to this consecration. I am committed and devoted into pushing myself further and growing myself into whoever God needs me to be. I'm letting him lead me. I'm just in the passenger seat. He driving me right now. So wherever he's leading me, I'm following, and I'm just thankful and excited of what this next chapter in my life is going to look like. So that is what I know for sure. So last but not least, just event news and all that fun stuff. With the start of the year in progress, I have I've started my Through the Seasons coaching program, which is a small 4-week coaching experience for those people who feel unseen, emotionally stuck in between chapters, and want a space to be heard and find clarity. I have officially met my goal of clients right now for this first round. So I'm excited to get things started. If you are interested in any next coaching sessions that I'll be hosting, I can do exclamation mark coach. Oh, yep. And you can go ahead and email me or DM me here on Twitch or email me at fourseasons@gmail.com to get more information on that for the next round of coaching. Like I said, I'm excited for the people I have ready to test my program out to see if it works for these next 4 weeks. So I'm excited to share that journey with you guys. So if that's something you guys are interested in, go ahead and email me or DM me here for more information. Also, I have my co-working stream every Saturday at 11 a.m. EST here on this channel. If you guys are new to what co-working is, it is a space where we come and get things done together. So you may have chores around the house, you may have errands to run, bills to pay, things that you need to get done that you doing yourself may take hours on end. But if you have a group of people who are getting other things done together, we can hold each other accountable and get these things done quicker than that. So if that's something you're interested in, join the channel every Saturday at 11 a.m. EST here on the Four Seasons channel. Also, for notifications of every time I go live, go ahead and join the Discord below. We're work in progress. Things are starting to be a little more polished over there, catered towards what the amount of content and the stuff that I put out here. So go be notified, get the announcements, connect with the Four Seasons community, and get more information on coaching things that will be happening very, very soon. Also, all lives here will be posted on my YouTube channel called The Four Seasons. I dropped it in the chat as well. So yes, all my shorts and all of the edited lives will be up there for you guys to go ahead and consume and enjoy there. So go ahead and show some love to it, y'all. I need some more subs. I need some likes and some comments on some of the videos that I have up there. So please go support your boy over on the YouTube platform. So we are finally at the end of the podcast. Shout outs to the Four Season community for coming in and showing up and showing out. Thank you for the first time chatters. Thank you for the new followers, the lurkers, the new viewers, and everybody in between. You guys are so appreciated. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I will be back here Saturday for the co-working stream. That's not your mix. That's not your flow. I will be back here Thursday for the beginning of the new season. Well, the beginning of the new month of the podcast. So, with that being said, be good to yourselves and be good to others. And I'll see you guys later.